Yeah.
They beat Pittsburgh, who Pittsburgh almost beat Clemson. The last 2 games were Virginia and California, so SMU is probably going to go undefeated.
Yeah.
Now, here's the real question: if SMU goes 12-0 and loses to Miami by like one score,
Well, SMU has 1 loss this season.
They do.
Yeah. It was early.
They lost to BYU.
BYU.
Okay,
yeah.
so
That's a good loss though.
SMU should not have lost that game either. Let's put that one thing. SMU played horrible that night.
We didn't even mention A&M. I know they only have 2 losses. We mentioned
A&M,
that, but you
if
think
they went out? I think if they went out, they're in the SEC title game. They'd beat Texas.
Okay, so here's a question. Ole Miss, they can't make the SEC title game. A&M wins out. They both have 2 losses. If A&M loses to Texas in the SEC championship game, do you think that they still are ahead of Ole Miss or no? Because does Ole Miss benefit from not making the SEC championship game?
I think in that scenario, I think A&M would stay ahead. But
I mean, I don't know.
I don't think either of them would make it with 3 losses like that.
No, Ole Miss has 2 losses.
But no, Ole Miss would jump them.
Even though they didn't do so A&M gets rewarded, makes the SEC championship game, and then loses.
Let me look at their schedules.
Because what Colton's saying is okay, say both teams are 10-2 at the end of the regular season. One of them advances into the title game, and they finish their season 10-3. So if A&M is if A&M is the runner-up in the SEC and finishes 10-3 after losing in the SEC championship in Atlanta. Okay. Do they still make it with that 3rd loss coming in the NCC championship?
If that happens and it's 10-2 Ole Miss, 10-3 A&M, you have a 9-3 South Carolina sitting who blew the doors off of A&M at Kyle Field. South Carolina won by 44.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, 24.
Yeah.
I think in that scenario you might see South Carolina jump both. I think if South Carolina wins out, I think they're going to be ahead of Ole Miss regardless. Ole Miss's last 2 games were Florida and Mississippi State.
Who did South Carolina play the last 2 games?
They just beat Missouri.
Yeah, they beat Missouri by 4.
They're playing Clemson. They have Clemson left.
I mean, yeah, Clemson's in a ranked win. I think there's going to be so many upset.
Hold on. There's an update. Arizona State at halftime, leading Kansas State 21-0.
Yeah, I did. I don't think Arizona State has a way in though.
No, they do the conference title race though. That's the.
They are. They're in
the Big 12 race.
Yeah, I mean,
we were talking about that. Arizona State.
All right,
Arizona State is
the 3rd best team in the conference.
You want to hear a funny scenario? There's a chance the Big 12 gets left out of the playoffs.
No,
this is a wild scenario. Let's say Kansas somehow sneaks in at 6-6 and they win the conference.
No, we're eliminated. We're eliminated because Colorado won today.
Okay, never mind then. But that was a death scenario of the Big 12. If Kansas would have got in and won.
They're like, okay, dude, we're putting 2 SEC teams.
What was the scenario? So what was the scenario you were going to say?
If Kansas gets in and wins the conference, they'd be at 7-6. There's no way they'd be one of the highest 6-ranked or 5-ranked conference champions. That means you would get 2 Group of 5 schools. So you would get Boise and Army probably if that's the 2 winners of the conferences into playoffs to the Big 12.
So what about BYU? Even if they if they would have finished 11, if they would have finished 11-2.
But see, they're not ranked high enough to stay. If they lose a game, they're probably going to drop out of the top 12.
So BYU isn't ranked high enough to be in the 12 teams, and the only way they're in is if they're in the top 4.
BYU's 6 right now, and they're undefeated. Yeah. That means they're.
And they could lose tonight. Not even saying that as a Kansas student.
They're probably falling to
I don't know if they'll be in it.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to. I feel like you got to put SMU over it.
Where's South Carolina going to be on Tuesday? Because they're so interesting.
This dude loves South Carolina.
Listen, they're 21st right now. That means they're
they go up to 16, 15.
Maybe. I mean, if they're 16 with 2 weeks to go and they beat Clemson,
they're better than Clemson.
South Carolina,
lost today. I don't know.
I didn't watch who better than Clemson.
Clemson or Pittsburgh took the lead with 50 seconds left. Cade Club scrambled, drilled 50-yard touchdown to retake the lead.
Okay, well, of course it was Pitt, but I mean. My team that I think will make some noise is Ole Miss. If Ole Miss can get in, I really do think they have a chance to make noise. I don't think they'll host a playoff game, but
no, they won't.
They won't host a playoff game, but I think they can go in and beat whoever. I
agree.
Ole Miss is good.
Don't think they're getting in.
It's so there will be Federico and Caleb. There will be so many different fan bases who are going to be so upset after the selection show.
Oh yeah,
and it'll be awesome to see.
Okay. Stop the Louisville debate. They lost to Stanford.
Okay, so Louisville will be out of the ACC.
That's not a great. Okay, go back to Notre Dame. That's no longer a great.